Hi, everyone. Good evening and welcome to Walk-Ons here in the Purdue Memorial Union. It's a Wednesday night. It's 6 o'clock, which means it's time to talk Purdue football, and it means it's time for the Ryan Walters Radio Show. Thank you for joining us tonight. As you may have noticed already by the sound of my voice, this is not Tim Newton. Rob Blackman here from the Purdue Radio Network. Tim's compadre on the Purdue Radio Network during the Purdue football broadcast. Tim, don't fret. Tim fans or Tim groupies, don't fret. Tim is just fine, just a little under the weather tonight. So I volunteered to take over the show tonight so Tim could get a little extra rest, as he'll want to be rested up for that Boilermaker trip that is headed to Lincoln, Nebraska this weekend when Purdue takes on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. 3:30 is the kickoff for that. 3:30 Saturday, fans. Purdue at Nebraska. But even without Tim, we'll do our best to trudge right along here. Ryan Walters will be my guest here in just a moment. I want to thank all of you who are with us tonight. Maybe you're with us the old-fashioned way, listening on the radio. Maybe you're listening on the Varsity Network app, or maybe you're checking us out on the Purdue Facebook page or the Twitter page or the YouTube page. However you have found us this evening, we thank you very much for that. And with that in mind, a quick update on programming for programming purposes. The Ryan Walters Show next week is going to be on Thursday night, fans. We're about to get really busy here on the Purdue Network starting next week because Purdue basketball, men's and women's, is going to be starting up. That means Purdue coaches shows with Katie Geralds and Matt Painter. They're going to be Monday nights here at Walk-Ons. Coach Walters Show is going to move till Thursday of next week because there's Purdue men's basketball on Wednesday night of next week as the Boilermakers have an exhibition game against Grace College. So please make a note of that. Next time you hear from Coach Walters here on the Coaches Show will be next Thursday back here at Walk-Ons. Coach Walters Show is brought to you by the Rohrman Automotive Group. They're supporting your Boilermakers as the presenting sponsor of the Ryan Walters Show and a proud partner of Purdue Athletics. Rohrman Automotive Group, boiler up and hammer down. A lot to talk about with the coach, so we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll visit with Coach Walters. We'll see how things worked out for Purdue on the off week, and we'll look ahead to the Nebraska Cornhuskers this coming Saturday. This is the Ryan Walters Show, presented by the Rohrman Automotive Group on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
One up. You're just going to see the cornerback come into your screen untouched, unblocked, and again, as you can see, swipes at the ball as well. This Ryan Walters defense wanted to come in, wanted to create more turnovers. All the smoke. He wants all the big-time receivers.
Time they find a spot through and a big shoulder from Dylan Downing. Touchdown.
On play out the front side. Actually, that was a counter play. And again, look how he fills it.
Just the second penalty today. Charge to Purdue. Carr, end zone, open, touchdown. Garrett Miller and Purdue.
Hudson Carr with a perfect pass, dropped it right in the bucket. See right there, I don't think he necessarily wants to run the football, but he does have that ability.
Mockobee, touchdown.
To a run play from Devin Mockobee, getting in the end zone.
4 touchdowns for Purdue today, 2 on the ground, 1 through the air, and 1 on defense. Little trickery there, puts the ball in the hands of Burks, turn to the corner, touchdown!
You look at this play right here. Here is Deion Burks. He's going that way, and just watch the speed. Watch how he outruns everybody on the Illini defense. They have angles on him. He outruns the angles and gets into the end zone. Here's another look at it. Pick him up, put him down, young man. He's trying to get it.
He wants it. And they give him the ball, and he gets to the end zone. Back now, a 44-19 lead here late in the fourth.
A huge win. One of these teams can...
The Ryan Walters Show live tonight at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. I'm Rob Blackman filling in for Tim Newton here on this Wednesday night, visiting with the head coach of the Boilermakers, Ryan Walters. So nice to have you with us. Coach, was it nice to have an off week for your football team this past weekend? No game, obviously, for Purdue, as this was the built-in bye week in the schedule. Yeah. How did that go?
That went great. Obviously, it's not nice to have the bye week, right? You want to be playing and competing. That's why we're doing this still. But the bye week was very, very much needed from a mental and a physical health standpoint.
So much is made every year. I hear coaches talk about this, about where that bye week happens in the schedule and whether it is good or bad. And I suppose it varies from season to season. But as far as this team this season, do you feel like it came at the right time?
Absolutely. 7 weeks in a row of the type of teams we've played.
Right.
We've hit the injury bug and guys have been dinged up, so to have a week to sort of reset, get back locked in mentally and physically get as healthy as you can be for this next 5-game stretch down the road where, everybody remembers what you do in November, right? And so I want to close out the season the right way, and I feel like the bye week came at the right time to give us an opportunity to do so.
And that's not just physical health, too. That's a little mental health break, too, don't you think, to give the guys maybe just a little bit of time away from football?
Yeah, I'll just kind of take you through the week. We spent Tuesday, Wednesday were straight rejuvenation recovery for our guys that have been doing most of the playing, and we got to practice and scrimmage some of the guys that haven't had a lot of in-game snaps. Got to jump on Nebraska on Thursday. Had a Tuesday practice on Sunday that was as lively and energetic a practice as we've had. So it felt like that coming off the field. You watch the tape after practice, it confirmed that it was that type of practice, and then you got the catapult numbers from our strength and conditioning staff, and our guys were flying around. So they look fast, they look healthy, and we're ready to go out there and compete on Saturday in a great atmosphere in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Let me stop you right there. For some of our fans that may not know, and if you don't know, don't be surprised. A lot of folks don't know this. Coach is talking about strength and conditioning staff knowing how hard players are going during practice. We're at a position now, from a technology standpoint, where literally the strength and conditioning coaches can monitor every single player on that team, right, and they know how hard they're going in practice.
Yeah, there's a device that you put in their pads. It's this GPS tracker.
Right.
So every player uses it during the summer workouts, and so you can tell how fast they can go from a miles per hour standpoint. You can tell percentage of max velocity and how many. It obviously tracks the distance you are running throughout the course of practice, and so after practice they'll plug in those numbers, and you can see like, okay, this guy had so and so yards of 85% or max or higher max velocity during the course of practice, and so it gives you a quantified number of exactly how hard guys are working.
Amazing how far technology has come. From a coach's standpoint, how did you guys take advantage of an off weekend? I know only certain coaches are allowed to be out and recruiting, but were coaches out and about seeing different high school kids, going to high school games, those kind of things?
Absolutely. Everybody was out on the road recruiting, not only watching our current committed 24 class, watching their games, but also going to evaluate some 25 guys that we've targeted. And so it was good to get on the road and see future Boilermakers and then come back and get ready to go to work for Nebraska.
No off weeks in the season, are there? Maybe in the whole year.
Yeah, there's a couple weeks to get here and there, but that's part of the profession. It's why I love it. It's it's hard to call it work, right? Like I'm coaching football, man, and I get to travel and go meet people and try to help high schoolers live out their dreams and be a part of their journey. So it's hard to call it work, and that's probably why you can do it year-round.
This is the Ryan Walters Show, presented by the Rohrman Automotive Group on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
The Nits. And there's Myers.
Team with that energy, that heart, that hustle, that command behind the 10-foot line.
Hudson.
The Grace Union getting things going, finding those high hands and capitalizing.
After the Hudson serve, Markley. Hudson with the dig. Set up Anderson, Chicoine. Colvin. Cameron Hanna back in for Penn State. After the Pedraza serve, big swing, Chicoine. Grimes setting it up, Markley blocked back, Colvin, and Purdue. Hudson got it blocked. Heaney, the dig for Grimes. Merzick Pedraza! Hudson! And Purdue has won at Rec Hall for just the 5th time in this series history.
Sheffield in motion. Card time. Over the middle. Caught. Deion Burks. He can fly. Burks keeps his feet. Burks has speed. He is gone. Touchdown. Purdue. 84 yards. From his head coach, he said, he's an action figure. He's a freak. Popped off once, twice. The fastest guy on the team. No chance. 84 yards. And the Boilermakers strike first.
He's back in there now on 2nd and goal. Card, flushed, has to get away. Now he's going to look to run for it. Card is in! Touchdown, Purdue!
On 2nd down, Card, time, end zone, caught, touchdown. It's Burks once again.
Early on for the Nits.
Welcome back to Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union. It's the Ryan Walters Show on this Wednesday night as we talk Purdue football. The 2023 Purdue football season is presented by Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Earn a degree you are proud of and employers respect. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu. Injury-wise, Coach, an extra week certainly can never hurt in the middle of the season to try to get some guys healthy. I want to ask first about Hudson Card because I know you've been pretty bold talking about his health status the last couple of weeks. Fact of the matter is he wasn't 100% those last couple of games. Is he getting closer to that?
Yeah, definitely was not 100%, since the second series of Illinois, right?
Yeah.
So just kind of shows you how tough the kid is and how much this means to him. I was talking with him today, and he's like, man, this is the first time I felt like myself in a while. And I believe it because it's the first time he's looked like himself in a while, you know what I mean? So just from not only from a physical standpoint, but just his presence and energy is at a place now where it's recognizable because he's not in as much pain. And so I thought the bye week, like I said, came at the right time for everybody, but definitely came at the right time for him. And he's had a good week of practice.
I know from watching your press conference that you hold on Mondays that there were some other injury updates you had, including kicker Ben Freehill. We haven't seen him since I think maybe the Virginia Tech game, if I remember correctly. Is Ben back healthy and ready to go again?
Yep, he's back. He'll be out there in Lincoln, and he's been kicking well this week in practice.
Tyrone Tracy, did not see him last week because of injured early in that game at Iowa. What about his status?
Yeah, he actually injured it on Wednesday's practice of the Iowa week.
Gotcha.
Gave him Thursday off, gave him Friday off. He played at Iowa, right?
Right, yeah.
And so he wanted to go that game and tried it. Just wasn't feeling right. And so definitely missed the Ohio State game. We got him scheduled with some docs, and he's feeling good. He's practiced this week, and he's looking like himself as well.
Well, that's great to have him not only as a running back, but what he brings to your team in a special teams return game, right?
Absolutely. He's a dynamic individual, and anytime the ball's in his hand, we're happy. So,
maybe the most surprising injury update of all, I thought, at least from your press conference Monday, Ryan, was Mohamed Musa. When he left that game against Ohio State, at least, again, just looking at it from the press box, that looked like a pretty significant injury. But hearing you speak on it Monday, you think you're probably going to have him on Saturday, yes?
Yeah, I was definitely scared after the game, a week ago, but with our docs going through their exams and him getting a couple rounds of treatment, he felt good enough to practice today, and so I'm very hopeful for the likelihood of him being himself and starting on Saturday.
You can stop me if I missed anyone, but those were really the major significant injuries, right? The guys you're getting back. I'm not missing anyone, am I?
Yeah, those are the guys we're getting back. The guys that are out for the year are still out for the year. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll be happy to see those guys in uniform on Saturday in Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about, and you mentioned this, you allowed the younger guys on the team to do some scrimmage work here in the off week. What did that consist of? Was it multiple days of scrimmage work? Was it so many snaps, or how did all that work?
So we had 2 days where we let them scrimmage, and they were just at the end of the segments in practice. So, you know, it was probably 15 minutes on Tuesday and probably 15 to 20 minutes on Wednesday. But those guys got after it, and the guys that weren't practicing were very in tune to it and was very energetic and created a great atmosphere to watch those guys go to work.
And those, I mean, look, I know there's scrimmage snaps against your own team, but those are invaluable, right, for those young guys to get some live game action?
Absolutely. You know, they haven't played. A lot of those guys hadn't played since fall camp. So to see them out there competing and going live, you know, we had Ryan Brown, the quarterback, was live. So it was definitely a game feel to it, and I thought those guys handled it really well.
Any guys you'd like to point out that maybe did play really well, those young guys that really maybe caught the attention of the coaching staff?
Yeah, you know, Ryan Brown did a great job. He's a big, tall, physical quarterback that's got a big arm. George Byrne, he's played some, but he hadn't played a ton, so we let him go. And, you know, because of his performance, you know, we'll probably see him a lot more on Saturdays.
Sure.
So, you know, if we had another bye week, I don't think he would scrimmage anymore. You know, who else? On defense, Drake Carlson did a great job. You know, we've moved Mondrell Dean from running back to linebacker. He looks natural, and I'm excited about his future there. Zion Steptoe, who moved from wide out to corner, is looking the part and is getting better at a rapid pace. So, you know, I'm excited for the future. You know, we got a lot of guys, young guys that are playing right now. And the guys that aren't playing, they did a hell of a job, you know, during the course of this week.
One more question before we take a break. Zion Steptoe, he did play a little bit late in that Ohio State game at defensive back at corner. He was really, as you know, he was highly touted wide receiver when he came to Purdue, and I think really impressed at wide receiver. But what has he done so well that made you guys confident that he'd be better suited on the other side of the football?
Yeah, you know, if you look at him as a wideout, you know, his size, his speed is about average for a wide receiver, you know, and so you take that same player and you put him on defense with the ball skills and being able to recognize stems and splits of what you're going to see from an offense. Now you're anticipating instead of reacting, and he's a physical kid, and he's very energetic, and he can change directions really well. And so to maximize his earning potential per se in football, it's not at the receiver position, it's at DB. And when we presented it to him that way, he was all for it, and I'm glad he is, because it's definitely adding value to our football team.
This is the Ryan Walters Show. We are live tonight at Walk-Ons here in the Purdue Memorial Union. We will take a quick break, come back with more with the coach in a moment. It's presented by the Rohrman Automotive Group on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Win if one of these teams can make it.
On 2nd and 8, Luke Altmaier. Look out, he's under pressure. He lost the football. It'll be touchdown, Purdue.
Dial this one up. You're just going to see the cornerback come into your screen. Untouched, unblocked, and again, as you can see, swipes at the ball as well. This Ryan Walters defense wanted to come in, wanted to create more turnovers. All the smoke. He wants all the big-time receivers.
Time they find a spot through, and a big shoulder from Dylan Downing. Touchdown!
On play out the front side. Actually, that was a counter play. And again, look how he fills it.
Just the second penalty today. Charge to Purdue. Carr, end zone, open, touchdown. Garrett Miller and Purdue.
Hudson Card with a perfect pass, dropped it right in the bucket. See right there, I don't think he necessarily wants to run the football, but he does have that ability.
Mockobee, touchdown.
To a run play from Devin Mockobee, getting in the end zone.
4 touchdowns for Purdue today. 2 on the ground, 1 through the air, and 1 on defense. Little trickery there, puts the ball in the hands of Burks, turning the corner. Touchdown!
You look at this play right here. Here is Deion Burks. He's going that way. And just watch the speed. Watch how he outruns everybody on the Illini defense. They have angles on him. He outruns the angles and gets into the end zone. Here's another look at it. Pick him up, put him down, young man. Trying to get it.
He wants it. give him the ball, and he gets to the end zone. Back now a 44-19 lead here late in the fourth.
Welcome back to the Ryan Walters Show, live tonight from walk-ons in the Purdue Memorial Union. Rob Blackman here, filling in for Tim Newton on this Wednesday night. Tim just a little bit under the weather, so we're giving him a little bit extra time to rest up and get ready for that trip to Lincoln, Nebraska this weekend. The Ryan Walters Show brought to you by the Rohrman Automotive Group. They are supporting your Boilermakers as the presenting sponsor of the Ryan Walters Show and a proud partner of Purdue Athletics. Rohrman Automotive Group, boiler up and hammer down. Coach, I was thinking about this during the commercial break, so I want to bring it up with you. We're getting to that, you were talking about the young guys scrimmaging. We're getting to that point in the season where now we're down to the final 5 regular season games. And I believe this is correct. I know it is because you just told me during the commercial break. To not burn a red shirt, you can play up to 4 games. You can appear in 4 games. At what point of the season do the coaches start having those conversations, now that we're about to get into the month of November, about, hey, maybe we should give this guy a look, maybe we should let this guy get a few snaps here or there? When do those conversations begin to take place, or have they already?
You know, it's funny because we don't even pay attention to the 4-game rule. Like, if you can help us win, you're gonna play.
Yeah.
You know, not trying to save anybody. We're trying to go win ball games. And
right.
So, you know, that's one thing I love about football. It is the ultimate equalizer. It is non-discriminatory. It doesn't care about how old you are, where you grew up, you know, what your socioeconomic background is, or religious background or ethnicity. It's what happens between those white lines from snap to whistle. And so if you can play for us and you can help us win, then you're going to play. And so the whole red shirt tracker deal, like, I don't pay attention to that.
That's actually really neat to hear, because I can only assume there probably are some coaches out there that have a different theory on that. Of, like, boy, let's not play this guy just yet because we don't want to burn that red shirt. But it's nice to hear that you guys are like, hey, if you can help us win, you're going on the field.
We're not in a position as a program to operate that way. I'm sure there are some programs out there that can pick and choose.
Sure.
We're not there yet.
Right. All right, so I want to talk about one thing you told us on the radio network in the post-game show following the Ohio State game 2 weekends ago. You called, as you were talking with Tim on the post-game interview, you called this game a must-win. I remember you saying that specifically, must-win, which tells me that is the mindset of going to Lincoln here this weekend, right? This is, and I think you even said it Monday, I think you called it playoff mode. You guys are in playoff mode, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you know, the seniors that are on the squad have done a lot for us in the short time I've been here, and they deserve to play in the postseason. And you know, to get to the postseason, we gotta win out. Like, so, we are in playoff mode. You know, our backs are against the wall. Like I said, the bye week came at the right time to sort of re-energize, refocus, and really take a realistic look at where we are right now and where we need to go. And it's doable. And so, you know, I got every intention on getting to postseason play, and so do our guys. And so, yeah, the urgency is up a notch. The intensity is up a notch, and that it looked that way in practice this week.
Yeah, you think you said at Sunday's practice, I think you said the best you guys have had, right? Yeah. Hey, well, listen, speak of a couple of those players that might be able to help the Boilermakers indeed find their way to postseason play. They're going to be joining me here in the next segment. They are, in no particular order, punter Jack Ansell and running back Devin Mockobee. We'll make those two guys flip a coin to see who will join me first as my special player guest.
Mockobee's got to lift later, so
we got to do him first.
We're going to let Mockobee go first.
Devin, there will be no flipping of the coin. You will be coming up here first because the head ball coach said so. That's when we come back here, the Ryan Walters Show, presented by the Rohrman Automotive Group on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
First to begin the second half. Sheffield. This is Tracy, beg your pardon. Tracy, he tightropes that sideline. Tyrone Tracy Jr. 5 end zone touchdown Purdue. Can't get a first down at the 1. It's Mockobee, cuts, scores, touchdown Purdue.
Now you're populating the line of scrimmage. They should have an opportunity here.
Well, Tracy, look at him go, touchdown.
He turns everything to the left. Oh, that's beautiful.
Time winding down in the third.
Nice.
Card also losing time, but has some room to run. Look out, he's got speed. Pylon time, touchdown.
Huge win if one of these teams can make it.
On 2nd and 8, Luke Altmaier. Look out, he's under pressure. He lost the football. It'll be touchdown, Purdue.
All the big-time receivers.
Time they find a spot through and a big shoulder from Dylan Downing. Touchdown.
And now that clock rolls. Card trying to step up in the pocket. Now he escapes. Eyes downfield. Has a target. It's Sheffield down the sideline. He goes and in for the touchdown. How about Hudson Card?
Really makes the defense have to be very decisive.
A block from the setter. They went down by as many as 6 early on. The first set, was 8. 21-13 was the run for Purdue. Heaney trying to get this one in favor of Purdue. Gary puts it over, and Hudson will try from the right side. Makers allowed quite a run from the Hoosiers before sealing the deal. They've got no room for error here in the second set. And Heaney closes out set number 2. Kill number 4. She's still errorless.
Both set 1 and set 2.
It's got to be all Purdue or else Indiana pushes us to 4. A block! 10 big ones for Colvin. 9 kills. Serves it up on match point. Sliding attack from Ramelsburg. Hudson. Hayworth to Saris. Hudson again. And that'll do it. Purdue flips the script. While they lost a 21-game win streak, it's back up.
We're live tonight from walk-ons here in the Purdue Memorial Union. Rob Blackman filling in for Tim Newton on this Wednesday night. Quick reminder, Ryan Walters' show next week is going to be on Thursday night, Purdue fans. That's because Purdue exhibition basketball at Mackey Arena on Wednesday. That'll be here on the radio network, so we're going to move Coach's show one night later on the calendar, and that'll be next Thursday night at 6 o'clock. Purdue Athletics would like to thank and recognize members of the Black and Gold Club who sponsor Purdue Athletics through their sponsorship at the highest level. Black and Gold Club members include Indiana Packers, Molson Coors, Purdue Federal Credit Union, Purdue Global, also Rohrman Automotive Group, and Wabash, each great partners of Purdue Athletics. As I told you going to the break, Devin Mockobee is my guest here on the Coach's Show. The Mock Train, 6 feet, 200-pound redshirt sophomore from Boonville, Indiana, the former Boonville Pioneer. I was sharing with Devin before we even started the show. I'm a graduate of the University of Evansville, so I spent some time in southern Indiana. So Devin's one of the few guys on our team that recognize any of my southern Indiana jokes, so I do appreciate that, Devin. No problem. And I'm a big fan of Boonville, Indiana, by the way. Talk to me so far about this season and in your, not necessarily you in particular, but that running back room. It feels to me, just watching from the press box, that you and Tyrone and Dylan have really got a nice little mix of 3 different running backs who kind of bring 3 different things to the table, and it seems to work with this offense. Am I seeing it correctly?
I mean, most definitely. I think with me, Tyrone, and Dylan, sort of like a 3-headed monster a little bit, but you know, we can all go into the game and we can get the job done equally. When you think about it from a standpoint of like, Tyrone's a little bit more of a, I'm a smaller guy compared to both of them, so I'm a little bit more of a speed back versus Dylan versus power. I think Tyrone's got a mix of both, so right. I think it's just a good mix to have in the game where we can all just roll through and rotate, and it's really good for us.
And you know, one thing that's impressed me as well, the ability of all three of you to catch the ball out of the backfield. I can only assume as a running back that has to be a lot of fun, catching those balls, especially from Hudson Card, but catching some balls in space and being able to do something with it.
I mean, most definitely. And in this day and age, with how football is now, running backs, you basically have to be able to catch the ball. So that's just another standard thing to do now.
Okay, so last year, you're a redshirt freshman. You had 7 starts, 968 rushing yards, which is a Purdue freshman record. Have you ever had a chance to just maybe lie in bed at night and think about you think about all the great running backs that have come through Purdue. You set the freshman record for rushing yards in a season. That is, that's quite an accomplishment. Have you had a chance to let that sink in at any point? What a special season you had last year as a redshirt freshman.
I mean, I always go back and look at the highlights, but
of course you should.
But it was really cool to see what I was able to accomplish last season and just the journey that I took to get there, and it's really special for me.
Well, I'd like to talk about the journey. You come from Boonville, and most know your journey because it's been well documented. I think it was even documented on the journey on the Big Ten Network. But you come to Purdue as a walk-on, and the way it was explained to me is while the coaches who recruited you were impressed with your football ability, it may have been more what you did in track and field that really got their attention. You were a state champion in long jump, I think. I'm right on that, yes? And I know you were a state qualifier in the 110-meter high hurdles, yes?
Yeah, I ended up getting second.
Second in the state. So the way it was told to me, that's probably what impressed them more than even your football ability. So the fact that you were a multi-sport athlete, and this is me on my soapbox, by the way, for young people, be a multi-sport athlete, it really benefited you.
Yeah, I mean, they were telling me that how they actually initially found me at all was just scrolling through Twitter, and they saw that I had about my post about winning state, and then they ended up looking me up on the top 50 list in Indiana out of high school. So that's basically how it jump-started into it.
Amazing, amazing story. You are a 2-star recruit. I don't say that as a negative. I say that as, in a way, do you use that as extra motivation, as a chip on your shoulder that, hey, I belong in the Big Ten. Forget how many stars are in front of my name. I belong here.
I mean, that was always sort of a thing, sort of like a baseline that you would use in high school. So you were always looking at that, sort of trying to compare yourself to other guys and all this other stuff. And I'm looking at these other guys. I'm like, man, I'm sort of doing the same thing. What's going on, But it is what it is.
Okay, final question for Devin Mockobee. 5 games left in this regular season. You'll need 4 wins to be bowl eligible. Coach Walters and I have spoken a little bit on this already. But from a player standpoint, does it, inside that locker room, does it feel like must-win time? Does it feel like playoff mode for the players right now?
At this point, our expectations that we've had and that we have set and we're setting in going for the rest of the season, we want to win every game. Why would you ever go into a game expecting to lose?
Right.
So every week we're trying to prepare the best that we can to go in and win 5 straight.
Devin, enjoyed the visit with you. Good luck this Saturday.
Thank you.
Devin Mockobee, everyone, the Boilermaker redshirt sophomore, the running back from Boonville. This is the Ryan Walters Show presented by the Rohrman Automotive Group. Coming up next, punter Jack Ansell joins me. This is the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Win if one of these teams can make it.
On 2nd and 8, Luke Altmaier. Look out, he's under pressure. He lost the football. It'll be touchdown Purdue.
Dial this one up. You're just going to see the cornerback come into your screen. Untouched, unblocked, and again, as you can see, swipes at the ball as well. This Ryan Walters defense wanted to come in, wanted to create more turnovers. All the smoke. He wants all the big-time receivers.
Time they find a spot through and a big shoulder from Dylan Downing. Touchdown.
On play out the front side. Actually, that was a counter play. And again, look how he fizzles.
Just the 2nd penalty today. Charged to Purdue. Carr, end zone, open, touchdown. Garrett Miller and Purdue.
Hudson Card with a perfect pass, dropped it right in the bucket. See right there, I don't think he necessarily wants to run the football, but he does have that ability.
Mockobee, touchdown!
To a run play from Devin Mockobee, getting in the end zone.
4 touchdowns for Purdue today, 2 on the ground, 1 through the air, and 1 on defense. Little trickery there, puts the ball in the hands of Burks, turn to the corner, touchdown!
You look at this play right here. Here is Deion Burks. He's going that way. And just watch the speed. Watch how he outruns everybody on the Illini defense. They have angles on him. He outruns the angles and gets into the end zone. Here's another look at it. Pick him up, put him down, young man. Trying to get it.
He wants it. And they give him the ball, and he gets to the end zone. Back now a 44-19 lead here late in the fourth.
The 2023 Purdue football season is presented by Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Earn a degree you're proud of and employers respect. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu. This is the Ryan Walters Show. We are live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. Rob Blackman here, now joined by punter Jack Ansell, the junior, who checks in at 6'2" and a cool 235 pounds. Not bad for a punter, by the way. 235.
Not bad. I've got to make up for it somewhere.
If you couldn't tell by the accent there, Jack is not from West Lafayette, Indiana. He hails from Australia. But help me with your hometown. If I'm pronouncing it correctly, is it Warrnambool?
That's pretty close. That's one of the better first attempts I've heard.
Well, I'm from Indiana, so
there you go.
Grant me a little grace there on the pronunciation. I don't want to get into your path here to West Lafayette because I feel like that's been told. That story's been told a lot, and here you are a junior. It's been told a lot, actually, in the 3 years you have been here. But I would like to know, being so far from home, do you have a chance to get home often to see friends and family?
So not as much as I'd like. Obviously the football season and football in general is very time-consuming, and we spend a lot of time at the facility. So I've only actually been home once in 3 years I've been here. So last May I got a chance to go back home and see my family and friends. It was incredible.
Wow. So does that mean that you've made some pretty close friends here on your football team that are local, that maybe can get you a home-cooked meal every now and then?
Yeah, absolutely. Got a few people close by, and obviously the kicker, Caleb Crockover, is West Lafayette native. So, yeah, we're a really close-knit group, so a lot of good guys in our specialist group.
Yeah, Caleb is a good guy, and he's in that kicking room with you. So, yeah, he's probably a good one to hang out with. So last year, your academic All-Big Ten, you started every game. You averaged basically 42 yards a punt. Your freshman year, you started 12 games. So you've been a full-time starter, quite frankly, since you have stepped on campus. When you came to the States, when you came to Purdue, did you think at that point, hey, I'm good enough that I can start right away as a freshman?
Well, I think it's important when you come in to have that belief in yourself. I mean, if you don't believe in yourself, why would anybody else? So, yeah, definitely I felt that I was up to doing that, and sure enough, it's been 2 years since then and started every game.
Do you feel individually like even though you've been now, what's a 2.5-year starter, there are still things in your game that you can even still improve on and try to get better at?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think the Big Ten in general is a pretty hard conference to be a specialist in, obviously, given the conditions.
Right.
But there's always things you can work on, always things you can get better at, and it's definitely something that's at the forefront of my mind, always getting better where I can and putting my team in the best position going forward.
One quick question back to your youth, if you don't mind.
Sure.
At what age did you find yourself becoming fascinated or enamored or interested, if that's maybe the right word, with American football?
Yeah, it's a funny question. Well, to take it even back further, I first kicked a football at about 2 or 3 years old, given the Australian rules nature. Was introduced to football, most guys, Madden. Played a lot of Madden growing up as a kid.
Of course you did.
And it came over to the States I was in Hawaii when I was 14 and actually went to a college game, Hawaii and the UMass Minutemen. Thrilling fixture. And
wait a minute. So your first college game was in Honolulu.
Yes.
University of Hawaii.
Yes.
That's a pretty good way to start your college football watching. But go ahead.
Absolutely. And that sort of started it all. And then it began with just watching it more and more and sort of thinking, well, punting's fairly similar to Australian rules football. Maybe I could give this a go, and the rest is history.
It is. It's a heck of a story. So let me ask you, here you are a punter. What is more gratifying for you? The 55-yard boomer that has, the hang time of what feels like 12 seconds, although it isn't, or the short punt that pins them inside of the 5-yard line? What's more gratifying as a punter?
Well, for me, I'm always thinking about the team. So definitely the short punt, perfect location, pin them deep, putting the defense out there to do their thing. It's definitely more gratifying for me in that respect.
One final question here for our guest, the punter, Jack Ansell. so much is made in the game of football about guys who play offense and defense, and the scouting report and what goes into preparing for an opponent. You know, what you see on film and what you're going to be looking for from the opponent on that particular Saturday. From a punter's standpoint, I can only assume the scouting is just as in-depth about knowing who you're punting the ball to, right? And
Definitely.
where that particular player maybe likes to catch it or doesn't like to catch it, directional punting, all those things. What all goes into that?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like any other position, really. It's the film study, watching returners' tendencies, what they like to do, what they don't like to do. And I'm very fortunate. I've got a lot of kicks in my arsenal that I can sort of do what I want with it. You've probably seen a lot of times this year. Sometimes keep it along the ground and roll it.
Right.
Sometimes kick it over there, kick it outside the numbers. You know, if I see a returner that doesn't like to catch the ball outside the numbers, doesn't like to chase the ball, I'm definitely going to try and kick it away from him. So it's definitely a film study aspect, just seeing, again, their tendencies, reading what they like to do, what they don't, and then hopefully getting away from them long and far.
So you don't just roll out of bed on Saturday and try to kick it as far as you can.
I try not to. You know, I try to give some respect to the specialist room.
Well, you deserve the respect. You deserve the respect, partner, especially as good as you have been in a Purdue uniform. Jack, thank you. Enjoyed visiting with you.
Appreciate it.
Jack Ansell, everyone kind enough to join us here, the junior punter for the Boilermakers. We'll take a short break. When we come back, the head coach, Ryan Walters, rejoins me here at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union. It's presented by the Rohrman Automotive Group, and this is the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Win if one of these teams can make it.
On 2nd and 8, Luke Altmaier. Look out, he's under pressure. He lost the football. It'll be touchdown, Purdue.
Dial this one up. You're just going to see the cornerback come into your screen. Untouched, unblocked, and again, as you can see, swipes at the ball as well. This Ryan Walters defense wanted to come in, wanted to create more turnovers. All the smoke. He wants all the big-time receivers.
Time, they find a spot through, and a big shoulder from Dylan Downing. Touchdown!
On play out the front side. Actually, that was a counter play. And again, look how he fills it.
Just the second penalty today. Charge to Purdue. Card, end zone, open, touchdown. Garrett Miller and Purdue.
Hudson Card with a perfect pass, dropped it right in the bucket. See right there, I don't think he necessarily wants to run the football, but he does have that ability.
Mockobee, touchdown!
To a run play from Devin Mockobee, getting in the end zone.
4 touchdowns for Purdue today, 2 on the ground, 1 through the air, and 1 on defense. Little trickery there, puts the ball in the hands of Burks, turn to the corner, touchdown!
You look at this play right here. Here is Deion Burks. He's going that way. And just watch the speed. Watch how he outruns everybody on the Illini defense. They have angles on him. He outruns the angles and gets into the end zone. Here's another look at it. Pick him up, put him down, young man. Trying to get it.
He wants it. And they give him the ball, and he gets in the end zone. Back now, a 44-19 lead here late in the 4th.
A huge win.
Back here at Walk-Ons, the Ryan Walters Show, with the head football coach of our Boilermakers, Ryan Walters, joining me. Time now for the Pro Boilers feature, where we look at how former Purdue student athletes are doing in their professional sports careers. Pro Boilers presented by Indiana Kitchen Premium Pork Products. Get to know us at indianakitchen.com. Both our Pro Boilers and Indiana Kitchen are boiler made. I want to highlight a couple of Purdue former football alums. Juwan Bentley led the Patriots with 9 tackles in their win over the Bills on Sunday. And how about Aiden O'Connell, huh? AOC got his first NFL touchdown pass in the 4th quarter against the Chicago Bears on Sunday. Aiden actually had a really good 4th quarter, 10 of 13, 75 yards in the touchdown. And I know we have a lot of Chicago Bears fans, especially here in northern Indiana, that listen to the program. So good on you. Not only did you get to see your Chicago Bears actually win a game, but you got to see Aiden O'Connell throw his first ever NFL touchdown pass. So that's pretty good stuff. All right, Coach Ryan Walters is alongside us. Now we focus our attention on the Nebraska Cornhuskers, 3:30 on Saturday at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. I heard you speak on this Monday, and I thought this was good stuff, Coach. Growing up a Colorado guy, It's much like the Purdue-IU rivalry. If there's one team you have some disdain for, or a lot of disdain for, it's the Nebraska Cornhuskers because of the rivalry, yes?
Yeah, you know, it ain't personal. It's nothing against Matt Rule and the boys in the locker room. It's just a long-standing tradition in the Walters household, you know, because of
right.
the history. You know, I don't own anything red. Was not allowed to wear red growing up.
Yeah, that's why you fit in around here, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it's I don't like the color. I don't like the N on the helmet. I don't like Lincoln.
I've heard some great stories about, and this is from some years gone by, maybe not that long ago, about not only were the games on the field between Nebraska and Colorado all-timers, but the recruiting battles between the two staffs. I've heard coaches from both sides talk about how I don't know if nasty is the right word, maybe it is the right word, that those recruiting battles were. I mean, those are two schools that often were going after the same high school players, yes?
I mean, I don't know because I wasn't on the staff, but
yeah.
You know, there was definitely a very heated rivalry.
Yeah. So let's talk about then Nebraska more specifically. Offensively, they haven't been great, to be fair, 18 points a game, which puts them 13th best in the Big Ten. But, man, defensively, they have really, they've been stingy. Fourth best in the league in total defense. And as you know, Coach, they're only allowing 77 yards a game on the ground. They're really tough to run a football against.
Yeah, it starts up front with them. They've got some really talented and big bodies up front. They do a good job in the back end of mixing up coverages, and they create havoc, you know, with their front seven, just the gap exchanges and movements. And so we'll have our hands full. And, you know, it'll be much like the Syracuse defense we saw earlier in the season. They, you know, got similar backgrounds. And then offensively, they make you play with all 11. You know, the quarterback is heavily involved in the run game. They do a good job of mixing up personnel groups and running different types of gap schemes and zone schemes. And then when you think you're getting lulled to sleep on the ground, they'll throw it and they'll take shots. And so we'll have our work cut out for us, but I'm excited for the challenge and the task of playing at a great venue in front of a 90,000-plus lively crowd on a typical Midwestern game day.
Yeah.
You know, with potential for snow and 38 degrees, some wind. I love it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the long-range forecast, fans, for what we're looking at in Lincoln on Saturday, Coach just mentioned it, probably in the upper 30s at best and maybe some snow in the forecast. One more segment with Coach Walters when we return here by the Ryan Walters Show, brought to you by the Rohrman Automotive Group. It's on the Purdue Global Sports Network, and it's from Learfield.
The Nits. And there's Myers.
Team with that energy, that heart, that hustle, that command behind the 10-foot line.
Hudson.
The Grace Union getting things going, finding those high hands and capitalizing.
After the Hudson serve, Markley. Hudson with the dig. Set up Anderson, Chicoine. Colvin. Cameron Hanna back in for Penn State. For the Pedraza serve, big swing, Chicoine. Grimes setting it up, Markley blocked back, Colvin, and Purdue. Hudson got it blocked. Heaney, the dig for Grimes, Merzick, Pedraza. Hudson and Purdue has won at Rec Hall for just the 5th time in this series history.
Sheffield in motion. Card time over the middle. Caught Deion Burks. He can fly. Burks keeps his feet. Burks has speed. He is gone. Touchdown, Purdue, 84 yards. From his head coach, he said, he's an action figure. He's a freak. Popped off once, twice. The fastest guy on the team. No chance. 84 yards. And the Boilermakers strike first.
Mockobee's back in there now on 2nd and goal. Card, flushed, has to get away. Now he's going to look to run for it. Card is in. Touchdown, Purdue.
On 2nd down, Card, time, end zone, caught, touchdown. It's Burks once again.
things early on for the Nits.
Final segment here, the Ryan Walters Coaches Show, live tonight from Walk-Ons in the Memorial Union. One final reminder, fans, Coach Walters will be here with the Coaches Show next Thursday. You can show up on Wednesday. Please do. Spend a lot of money here at Walk-Ons, but Coach won't be here. Coach's Show is next Thursday at 6 o'clock. As we close it out here, Ryan, I want to talk to you about this. You've used this phrase a couple of times this week in visiting with the media. You just said it here a moment ago. You're talking about Nebraska on offense, and you said they make you play all 11. What does that mean in layman's terms?
Yeah, so, typically offenses, if they don't have a running quarterback, you don't need somebody designated for that guy on run plays.
Sure.
And so, there's not all 11 utilized in the run fits.
Gotcha.
When the quarterback is able to pull the ball, then you have to use all 11. They got 11 guys, and the 11th guy is the ball carrier.
Yeah.
And so our 11th guy has to be the fitter. And so that's the term, and that's like old school Nebraska, right, with the triple option. They're just running it out of spread sets and not from a wishbone.
Yeah.
And so they've gotten creative with the way they use him specifically to create favorable matchups in the run game. And, their MO is to move the chains steadily, eat up the time on the clock, not turn the ball over, and get after you on defense and create momentum plays on special teams. And so we got to do a good job of combating that.
Of course, we're talking about their quarterback, Heinrich Harburg. He was not the starting quarterback to start the season, but he's worked his way into the position of being QB1 for the Huskers. 716 yards passing, not bad, but it's his running. 400. He leads them in running and rushing as well, Coach. And you've said it, man. You can't let this guy go crazy in the run game. What is it that makes him so good at running the football? Because he doesn't look the part. I think when I watch him on TV, I'm like, this guy doesn't look like a runner, but he is. He's an effective runner.
Yeah, he looks like a runner to me.
Right.
Maybe that's why I'm doing my job and you're doing yours.
Yeah,
right?
so, I'm certain of that.
No, he's big, he's physical, he's hard to bring down, and he's faster than you think he is. Like, on tape, like he runs away from people. And so, yeah, from my eyes, he can go. So, we are definitely focusing in on him. When they've had success, in the games that they've won, he's had a big day on the ground.
And again, you said it. That's why you're the head coach, and that's why I'm on the radio. That's for sure.
I'm just teasing, man. I'm just teasing.
I deserve it. Coach, good luck to you. Thanks for the time today.
Thank you so much, man. It's good to talk to you.
Ryan Walters, kind enough to join us here on the Coaches Show. Reminder, 3:30 is the kickoff. 2:30 on the broadcast here. Fans on Saturday, Purdue at Nebraska. We hope you will join us then. A big thank you to Morgan Woods, our in-studio audio engineer. Thanks to Wes Scott, on-site audio engineer. For Jack and Devin and head coach Ryan Walters, I'm Rob Blackman. We will talk to you Saturday in Lincoln, Nebraska. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.